I'm so happy you guys are saying hi to each other. That makes my heart happy. So I am, you guys, I got to share something with you. It's on my heart to share it. So the last few days, I've really been in a slump. And I've been really struggling to stay out of it and not go too far into the slump. But I have a couple of times briefly taken my eyes off of God and on my situation and circumstances, and there's just so much going on in the world and so much negativity, and then there's so much that's going on within my family. I'm not gonna bore you guys with it all because it's some of it's very personal and stuff, but it is it's been hard. It's been hard for me to be joyful, and I know that I cannot take my eyes off of God for even a second, because if I do, I crash. So with everything going on, it's just been very, well, hey, honey, it's been very difficult for me, and there's a lot that has to happen. Well, it doesn't have to happen. In my mind, I think it has to happen, and that's probably part of the problem, my problem. But there's a lot that that's going on that I don't know how it's all going to happen. So I've been really struggling with that, and the Lord just laid it on my heart to share it with you guys, because there may be somebody out here that might be going through a similar situation and might just need a little bit of encouragement. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And there's a verse that I've been reading yesterday and today. I'm probably going to try to memorize it. It's actually 3 verses. And I wanted to share that with you guys because when you feel like things are just going crazy and you're not sure how things are going to happen and what's going to happen and when it's going to happen and all those things. Let me just read it to you guys. It says, it's from Psalms, and I didn't write it down. It's Psalms 40, I believe, 1-3, and it says, I waited patiently for the Lord, which I've been doing. I've been waiting patiently for him, sometimes not so patient, but and he turned to me and heard my cry. He lifted me out of the slimy pit, out of the mud and myrrh. He set my feet on a rock and gave me a firm place to stand. He put a new song in my mouth, a hymn of praise to our God. Many will see and fear the Lord, but put their trust in him. So you guys, I don't know about you, but for me, that takes me back to my salvation, when I was just in a very bad place, and really it was a very slimy pit. And what I'm going through now isn't near as bad as trying to live my life without Jesus Christ. So when I got saved and I accepted Jesus as my Lord and Savior, he did lift me out of that slimy pit. He saved my soul, and he gave me a rock to stand on. And as long as I keep him as my rock, I'm going to be fine. He gave me a song in my heart for him, to praise him and all those things. And many will see and fear the Lord and put their trust in him. So if you're out there and you're struggling and you don't have Jesus, just call out to him and just admit that you need him and that you need forgiveness. And he will answer you, and he will take you out of that slimy pit. If you're like me and you're just struggling with things, just keep your eyes on him and just keep reminding yourself of that day when he saved you, and you'll be okay. You will be okay. It doesn't mean that everything that my family is hoping is going to happen, but what it does mean is that he's going to be there, and he has a plan, and his plan is far better than what our plan could ever be. And so we just have to hang on to that faith and trust and hope in him and stand firm with him. So you guys, that was just laid on my heart to share it with you guys. And so that's it. So you guys, thanks for joining me today. I really do appreciate it so very much for you guys taking time out in your Friday afternoons to be with me, little old me. But anyway, so let's go ahead. I'm going to flip the phone down and we're going to get started, okay? Hold on just 1 second here. And I think that might be upside down, but we'll see. Is it up? No, yay. Okay, so let me just get it straight because it bugs me if it's not straight. And let's go ahead and get started. So this is the card. Let me flip some of these lights on here too so that it will be better. This is the card, one of them, that I'm going to demonstrate to you guys how I did it. And it's really, really simple. And it just dawned on me that, and you guys go ahead, laugh. I did forget something, but I'll grab it real quick in just a second. We're going to be using the Lovely You bundle. I can't remember the name of this punch. I never can remember. It's a mouthful. It's something like Pick a Tag Punch, something like that. But anyway, it comes in a bundle or you can purchase it separately. We're going to use it. I've used it quite a bit. I absolutely love it. And if you guys remember, several months ago, there was a bundle that I highly recommended and I use it a lot and we're going to be using it again. Oh, we are upside down, aren't we? Okay, so let me see if I can fix this real quick. You guys just hang on 1 sec. Let me flip this around like that. Let's see if that's right. Okay, let me get that one marker that I need. And this. So this is the dies that came in that one bundle. It's Stitch So Sweetly dies, and we're going to be using one of the dies out of there. I use it all the time. This is an awesome die to have. Okay, so let me get my bearings. Okay, so we're going to put this aside and we're going to pull out all of our little pieces here that we have. That's going to go for this card. So we have our one of the Stitched So Sweetly dies here. I have a piece of vellum. This is cut at 5 by 3 3/4. I have a scrap piece of Rococo Rose. On this one I used Blushing Bride. But on this one, we're going to use the Rococo Rose. Isn't that a cool name, Rococo Rose? I really love it. Am I upside down? It looks like it's right on the screen. Or are my comments coming in? You guys, maybe my comments are coming in very, very slowly. Anyway, I'm going to go on. Hopefully, I'm not upside down. If you're watching on your phone, just lay your phone flat and turn it. Okay, so there's a solution for everything. All right, and then we have some strips of Whisper White cardstock. This is 1 inch by 3 inches, or 3.5 inches. And then I have 2 in case I mess up on my stamping, which I probably will. This is 3/4 of an inch by 3, I believe. And then we have, what have I got on here? Then we have our inside piece, which is 5 1/4 by 4. And then we have a scrap for our stamping and our cutting. So let's go ahead and fold our card base here. Take my little bone folder and give this a nice burnishing. Flip it over. There we go. All right, so that's that. Then we're going to cut out a piece of the Rococo Rose with this and run it through the Big Shot. But because I've already gone ahead and done that, so we have that done. Y'all know how to do the Big Shot. I've showed you guys. So, and then we have, let's go ahead and we're going to bring in our vellum and we're going to do some heat embossing. So we're going to use the Smile from the Lovely You. And the font is so pretty on this. So I'm going to take my embossing buddy, which you guys, the embossing buddy has retired. But if you don't have it, you really do need it. It does help with the static and It helps keep the powder, your embossing powder, from sticking where it doesn't need to be or where you don't want it to be. And you can get it in any craft store. Okay, so I am going to ink this up in Versamark. And in case you guys aren't sure what Versamark is, it's like a clear sticky ink. It takes a little while to dry. You can use it to put watermarks on your cards or for heat embossing, all kinds of different stuff. It's really hard for me to see where I'm placing these, so I hope that I'm doing an okay job. So I'm just randomly putting these, Stamping the Smile down here on our vellum. So I think that's pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to bring in our white embossing powder. And I am going to carefully pick this up. And I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but see the shinies on there? I hope that you can. You can see where it's shiny. So the powder will stick to it. And because we use the embossing buddy, it shouldn't stick where we don't want it. And if it does, it usually comes off pretty easily with just a couple little flicks and maybe just blow on it. So that's that. Hey Charlie, hey Nikki. So that is that. So now we're just going to take our heat gun and we're going to emboss on it. Now when you're using vellum, you want to use a lower temperature, so we're going to use the lower speed because you don't want your vellum to warp or melt. So, and then I'm just going to show you real quickly here. You just kind of move it around. You don't want it to stay in one spot until that powder heats up. And then what it's going to do eventually here is it will turn white. And it won't be like that matte, dull look. I hope you guys can see that. Because there's such a lag, I can't see right away what you guys are seeing. So I'm hoping that you're going to see it. But hopefully you can see where it's turning. Let me see if I can get a color underneath that. Okay, so can you see the difference where it has melted, which is what it's doing? It melts the powder, and where it hasn't. Hopefully you can see that. So when you're heat embossing, you want to make sure that it's all shiny, and then you know that it's all melted. Because if it's not, thanks Lynette, if it's not, it will smear. So that's all you do. So I don't want you guys to have to sit here and watch me do this because it does take a little while, and I have already done one ahead of time too, just to kind of help with the boring parts. Although I think Lynette really loves to watch this. Alright, so that's all you do. So I'm going to move that out of the way, and I'm going to put that somewhere where I don't mess it up because I can use this on another project. So I'll finish that later. So we already have one that's already done. It's right here. Move this out of the way. Powder. Your powder can be a little messy. All right, so that's already done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do some stamping, some more stamping. So I've got some colors here. We've got powder pink that we're going to use. We have Pear Pizzazz. We're going to use Pear Pizzazz. And we're going to use, actually, we're not using Blushing Bride. We're going to use Rococo Rose, if I can find it. Right here. We're going to use a Rococo Rose. I'll move this out of the way. And we're going to use Bumblebee. Okay. So I think I've showed you guys how to do this before, but I know it's been a while since I've done it. And I know I've showed you another way too, where if you only want to ink up part of your stamp, You can take washi tape or just scotch tape or masking tape, and you can just cover up what you don't want to ink up. But we are going to go ahead and do all green on this one. So we've got all Pear Pizzazz on there. I'm going to do 2 of each. And then we are going to come in with this little ferny, leafy looking thing. And I'm going to do that one in, oh, did I do that in yellow? Oh, that's because I did do something different. Uh-oh. Let me get my little cleaner here. My chamois, I love this thing. It's so stained and ugly, but let me tell you, it still works fantastic. And it comes in a bigger sheet, but I don't need the whole sheet, especially for my classes. I cut them in half, and they're only like $7, and they're really cool. They work awesome. Okay, so I'm inking this up in powdered pink, and I'm going to stamp this down twice, just like so. And then we're going to come in with this little flower image right here. This is the one that we're going to do a little different. So I'm going to be careful and kind of ink that up a little. I don't want it to go, where is my yucky? My yucky. See, I have a good blending pen, and then I have a yucky one. And I like to use my yucky one for this part. But I don't see what I did. Here it is. Yeah, see this one, it's kind of dried out and it's yucky. So, but I just kind of wipe that off and then wipe it off of the pen. And okay, so that's off pretty good. Now I'm going to come in with my Bumblebee Yellow. And I'm just tapping it into the ink pad, and then I'm just going to brush that on there, just like so. Okay, and then I'm going to wipe that off. I'm going to come in with some of the Pear Pizzazz, and I'm just probably not going to need the stem, but just in case, I'm just going to kind of color that. Now, when you do this technique, you always want to give it a breath of life, and that's just huffing on it. So I'm going to just huff on it with my breath, and we're going to do this one twice. So see, so there it is. That's that. And then we're going to do it one more time. So I'm going to ink it up in the Rococo Rose. I'm going to, oh, that didn't get inked up on that corner. Well, there we go. I'm going to take this off. And then we're going to tap in the bumblebee and just color the bumblebee right on there, just like so. And then we can do the green, just like that. All right. I'm going to huff on it again. And then we're going to stamp it right down here, just like that. Okay, so we are pretty done with that. Now, what you can do with this one, I just used my sprig punch and used Bumblebee Yellow cardstock to make those. But on this one, I actually used this little ferny thing four times actually. So I used it for the petal pink, and then I stamped it in the bumblebee too. So we're going to ink this up, and we're going to stamp that down in the bumblebee. And one more time, just like so. And then, actually no, I'm sorry. I did not do it on the Whisper White, but I'm going to for just this one. I stamped it on the bumblebee cardstock, but we're just going to go ahead and do it just like this. I've already pre-cut them out because you have to fussy cut these. There's no dies or punches for these. So all I'm doing is just filling in the white centers because I wanted these to be all bumblebee yellow. So that's all I'm going to do is just like that. Okay, so Then we just take our scissors and we just start fussy cutting. And you guys know how to fussy cut, and because there's a lot here to fussy cut, I'm really not going to sit here and do it all. I've already pre-fussy cut all of them. So that's all you do. Okay, so I will save those because I can make another card with those. We are all done with our ink pads, so we're going to close them up so that we don't get ink on anything and mess anything up, because I am really good at doing that. So we are going to go ahead and do that. But while we're stamping, I am going to go ahead and open up my Early Espresso, and I'm going to bring in You're My Person from the Lovely You. And I need my little 3/4 of an inch piece of cardstock Whisper White strip. If I can get it all out, it's kind of a mouthful. And I'm going to try to stamp this as straight as I can, right in the center, just like so. All right. All right, and I have too much ink on there, so that's why I cut two. So hopefully this will work. You can flip it over, but if I have to, I will. All right, so there we go. That's much better. So this takes a little while to dry, my Early Espresso. I'm not quite sure why, but I need a new pad, and I know that that's part of the problem. Okay, so we're going to move that out of the way. That's done. All our stamping is done. So let's bring in our card base. I'm going to burnish this just a little more. Okay, so we're going to bring in our vellum sheet that we heat embossed with white embossing powder. I'm going to bring in a piece of, not a piece of, some of our adhesive. I'm going to just put, well, maybe I am. Come on. I'm just going to put a little bit in the very center, because that is going to be covered up. You're not going to see that. And I'm just going to center this on here, just like so. And press down. See how you can see your adhesive? So when you're using vellum, you want to try to hide your adhesive so that it's not seen. Okay, so then we've got our little die cut right here, and we need our other strips. So we need this one. So this is where the punch comes in. You can punch two different types of toppers. So you can make different tag punches on the ends, or one end if you choose. You can make it a 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch, or 1/2 inch. You can make it as long as you want. So we're going to use the pretty scalloped end here. So I'm just going to slide this in, hopefully. Well, hopefully I am. Do I have it opened? Is there anything in there? There we go. So I'm going to push it all the way to the back. I'm going to flip it over so I can make sure that it's straight, and punch. And then I'm going to do the same thing to this side here, just like that, and punch. And then that's our tag. There we go. So let me see, I might want to trim that. Just, I think that's good. Okay, we could cut a little tiny bit more off of it, but I think I'm going to leave it like it is. I'm hoping that this is dry. I'm telling you, my ink pad is like, it's really thick ink. I need a new pad is what it is. Same thing, we're going to push that all the way to the end, make sure that it's centered in there, and we're going to punch it. And then we're going to do the other side as well, just like, well, just like that, hopefully. There we go. It slid out of its trap, just like that. So that is going to go right on top of there. All right. Then we have our pieces that I've already fussy cut here. And this is kind of a tedious part because I'm not very good at flower and leaf placement. So sometimes it just takes me a little bit. Oh, you know what? It just dawned on me. I punched these out. I cut them out in the Blushing Bride. Wow. And I'm missing one too. Well, you guys are going to watch me fussy cut anyway. I mean, I could use that and it would look just fine. As a matter of fact, I think I will. But I really do need the other one. And I don't see it. What did I do with it? Alright, so we are going to go ahead and... Don't you hate... Aha, here it is. Yay, because I really didn't want to fussy cut during the live. It just takes me forever to do it. Okay. Ooh. All right. Thank you, Charlie. Hey, Catherine. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and attach this. So I'm just going to take my adhesive and just put a little bit on there, just like that. And we're going to center this on our little tag thing here, just like that. And then that is going to get popped up on this. But before we pop it up, we're going to do our leaf placement. So I'm going to look and see how I did this, if you guys don't mind. All right, so we know that one is going to go on top up here, like so. And then one is going to go down in the bottom, like so. Just like that. You know what? I'm going to get my silicone mat so it will be easier to glue these down with, because adhesives doesn't stick to this. It just comes off. See, there's actually a little bit on here, and I can just take my fingers and rub it off so nothing sticks. So I absolutely love this too. All right, so we're going to put this here, just like that. And then we're going to stick this one. It is really hot today. I am like burning up. This and this is going to go here, just like so. Like that, okay? And then this one is going to come up underneath there. Well, come on, lift up, just like that. Okay, and then this piece is going to come up underneath. Maybe. Am I in the camera? Not really. All right, so let's do it like this. So this piece and this piece is going to come here. So let me get my glue. I am going to use my liquid glue if I can get it to come out. All right, so we're going to do this piece here. So if I get adhesive on this mat, I am okay with that. So that's going to come like that. And then we're going to do this and this. So we're going to glue this to the bottom of our tag. So it's going to go like right here, just like that. All right, and then this piece here is going to tuck up underneath there, hopefully, if I didn't mess up. Well, okay, so we'll cut this piece off because I should have glued this down first. See, I told you guys, I really struggle with flower placement. I do not know why, but I do. All right. And I used to make floral arrangements a long time ago. My mom had her own florist, and I used to help her all the time, but for whatever reason, I really struggle with it. So we're just going to stick that one right on top like that. And then we're going to take these here, and I am probably going to cut them, or you can tear them, because you're not going to see it. Just like that. So I am going to put some glue right here. And this one's going to be higher than that one, like that. And then we're going to put a little more glue on here. And then that is just going to come out the side just like that. Okay, so that is done. All right, the bottom part. Now, whoops. Now we just have to do the top. So this is going to go there. So we need this. And this one is going to come off to the side. So that and that's going to go there. And this one is going to come out like that. So it's not going to go in the same direction as the other one. Well, it is, but it's not. I know that really didn't make any sense at all. I apologize. Okay, so that's gonna go like that. Then we are gonna bring in, I know there's another one. Oh well. I know I'll find it when we're done. Okay, so we're not gonna waste a whole lot of time looking for it. So this one is gonna come this way, like that. But I'm going to put on this flower first, and the flower is going to go this way, like that, I think. So let me make sure that I've got this right. So the flower is going to go there. So I'm going to go ahead and put our flower on, just like that. I want it to come up over the top, like that. And then these two leaves here are going to come down like that. And then we need, I really need our other spriggly thing. But there were 4. Didn't you guys see 4? I'm pretty sure I had 4. Oh well. I think I broke that one. Then this is going to come up like that, just like that. Okay, so this, am I losing my mind, or were there really 4? I could have swore I had 4 of them, and I accidentally bent this one, you guys. So I'm going to carefully tear that off, and then we're just going to glue that down a little further too. So these little sprigs, they're very, very delicate, and this needs to come up more like that. So you have to be careful with them. So we're going to do that just like that. Okay, so that is that. So now we're ready to assemble. That wasn't too bad, was it? So they're a little sticky, so I'm going to use a little embossing powder on that because I really want to pop it up. So if it's sticky on the back, if it goes to the mail or whatever and it gets smushed down, it could stick where you don't want it to stick. So I just put a little embossing powder in that to kind of help take away some of the stickiness. So we are going to go ahead and peel these backs off. And thank you, Chris. Thanks, Lynette. Okay, so we're going to put this, we're going to center this right on our little label here. Our Stitch So Sweetly label. I am really struggling here. Okay. There we go. That's good enough. I got some embossing powder on that, but that's okay. It will wipe off. All right, so now we're going to bring this, the card base in, and we're going to put some more Stampin' Dimensionals on top of there. You guys, I absolutely love Dimensionals. They make things so much fancier and more fun and more interesting and all those good things. Okay, so because this will probably go through the mail, I'm putting a little extra on there to help it stay in place and not bend and all that kind of crazy stuff. Okay, so I got glue on it too. It's all right. Okay, so we're just going to center that right on our card. And I know that I have a glue eraser to get that off of there really fast. Here we go. So we're just going to take this and get that right off of there. Perfect. There we go. Is it crooked? It is a little crooked. but we're going to go with it. All right, now you could make it just a teeny bit more fancier and put a little bow on here. We're going to use some linen thread, and you can put a little bow right here in this corner, or you can put it up here in this corner. I think I'm going to put it in this corner, and all I'm going to do to adhere that is take a little mini dot, little glue dot, and just put it right there. So there we go. So now all we have to do is the inside of our card, and you can stamp, or you can leave it blank. You can use designer series paper if you want to decorate it. But for today, I think what I'm going to do is just take this little leafy thing, and we will ink that up in some green, I think, in some Pear Pizzazz, and we will just, you know what? I really need a big happy birthday sentiment, because then you could stamp "You're my person," happy birthday, or whatever. I need birthday cards right now, and I don't have big birthday stamps. Okay, so we could just stick this right down here in the corner, just like so. So it just gives it a little something so that it's not so plain and boring when the person that you're sending it to receives it. So we're going to use a little bit of the liquid glue. This is my favorite glue, but I have been trying out the new glue that replaced the snail glue. So far it's okay, and it holds up pretty good, but there's a trick to using it. But once you master the trick, it's all good. Okay, so there we go. What do you guys think? Isn't that pretty? Okay, so let's go ahead and clean our mess up here, because we're not going to be using these colors at all in our next card. We're going to be using watercolor pencils. I have not done that in a long time, I don't think. At least I don't remember doing it. And we don't need this stamp set because we're going to be using something new. We are going to use, where is the stamp set for it though? Here we go. So we're going to be using our watercolor pencils. And Posted for Love. And you can purchase this in a bundle and save 10%. And it's a little postage stamp punch. It's called the rectangular postage stamp punch is what it's called. And then the Posted for You. And you guys, in the catalog, the new mini catalog that's coming out, it used to be called the holiday catalog, which I will probably still refer it to that, but now it's called the August through January something mini catalog. August through December. So it's no longer going to go through January. Well, no, it used to go like a couple of days into January, but I don't think it's going to do that anymore. So August, December 2020 mini catalog. I will refer to this as the holiday catalog because that's what I've always done. It used to be called that. So I can only show you the cover. So this is it. This is my copy that was mailed to me. I have to order these for you guys, and I need to do it really soon so that you guys can get them before August. So I made a blooper and forgot to put them on my last order. And I placed that order purposely to order the catalogs and then forgot. So I really do apologize, you guys. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and pull these out here. This is what we're going to be doing for this one. We have a piece of Whisper White cardstock. I would prefer to use thick, but I'm out of it. So I'm just using the regular. It's really too thin for a card base, but just for demonstration purposes, it will work fine. Then we have another piece of Whisper White that is, oh, I scratched it. That is 5 1/4 by 4. And for the, what did I cut? Oh, this is for punching. I think, for punching, because we didn't need an inside piece because it's already white, unless you wanted to layer it, and then you could, and it would look very pretty that way. But I know I needed it for stamping and punching too. And then we have a piece. This is the Flowers for Every Season Designer Series paper, and this is cut at 5 1/4 by 4, I think. And then we have a piece of ribbon. What is the name of this ribbon? I did not write it down, so let me look really, really quick here. It was in the Bird Ballad Suite last year, and it has carried over, which is really awesome because I have that ribbon. So I hate when I have stuff left over and it retires, because then I can't use it anymore. It is called the Scalloped Lace Trim, and it's off-white. It's really pretty, but I took my light crumb cake marker, Stampin' Blend, my alcohol marker. Oh, thank you. And I just lightly dabbed it on there so that it would just pop more along this designer series paper. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down. Well, let me see if I can get this tape runner to work. Sometimes you gotta kind of help it get started, and you don't push down very hard at all. And matter of fact, you think that it's not laying down adhesive, and it is. And then too, because it's thicker adhesive, you want to lean forward and then check it off, because if you don't, it will, I'll show you what it'll do. It will pull. Well, yeah, see how it's pulling? I don't know, see, you can see how it's pulling. So you don't want it to do that. So you just lean it forward and check it off. Okay, now the reason why I don't normally use tape runner is because, and this is like really strong adhesive, it works very well, is I don't lay things down straight. So there is no forgiveness in this. So we're going to do our best, and it's going to be however it's going to be, which is not bad. Okay, so I'm going to move this aside, move the ribbon aside, bring in our markers. We're going to take off these images here because we don't need them for this one, and we're going to block up the images that we are going to use for this card. Okay, so we are going to use all of these, all 3 of them. At least I think I'm going to use this one. So this card is inspired by a card in the catalog that I am actually going to case, but I may tweak it a little bit. I don't know. We may just do it exactly like the catalog. So I am just blocking up all of these. They're black because I used my Stays On, because I originally was going to use water with my watercolor pencils and decided not to, and I used the Stays On. So you want to use Stays On for water-based inks and stuff, because, hey Megan, so that it doesn't bleed. If you use Memento ink, it will bleed. So you want to use Memento with all your alcohol-based inks and stuff when you're blending and coloring. You want to use Stays On when you're watercoloring. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to use Memento ink. And I need to plug up my phone before it dies on me. So give me just a second here to plug that in. Okay, so we're going to bring this in because we're going to do some stamping and some punching. So we're going to ink up our little birds, and I'm going to bring it down towards the bottom of the paper, but I'm going to leave room for my punch, which I think I left enough room. Let's check it and see here. So yeah, I have enough room. So I need 2 of those. So I'm going to punch or stamp 2. I want to leave enough space in between for the punching, which I hope that I did. And then I'm going to flip it over because I need 2 of these flowers. So we are going to put that one right about there. And that is what I had this one for, because there's more room. So I'm going to do that one again. And then we're going to bring in the love one with the little flower as the O. And we're going to ink that up, and we're going to stamp that. I'm going to put it just like that too. Okay, so we've got that and that. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp this. I'm not sure if we're going to use it or not. And I don't know if I really want it to be in black, so we'll hold off. Okay, I did not do this card ahead of time, you guys. So I just have it envisioned in my head. And because I'm doing a case, I kind of sort of know how it's supposed to be. Let me see if I can quickly find it for you guys so you can see what I'm doing here. It is on page 81. Here we go. So this is the bundle that we're working with. Doesn't it make the prettiest little cards? And you can do so many different things with them. This is kind of sort of what I'm casing. I'm not doing the background on our card. I'm using designer series paper instead. And this is it. So I'm gonna it's not gonna be exactly like that, but it's gonna be close. And I'm using a little bit different colors too. So we're using one of the new in colors. It's just Jade and watercolor pencils, and I believe they used markers, the alcohol markers, the Stampin' blends. So we're going to use these. And so what I found is that if I used the Bermuda Bay and the Old Olive, it gave me a color that was really, really close to the Just Jade. So we're just going to do one of the birds here. So we'll do this. So I'm just running my pencil in there. And you know, you really don't have to blend this at all. You can just color it and leave it just like that if you want to. There's really no rules. It's just a matter of what you like and what you like to do. Okay, so if I had watercolor paper, which I'm out of it, I would probably use water, but I really like to use my blender pen too. So the blender pen will help give it a brighter color, and your water will tone it down. It'll be more of a softer pastel look. Oops, I just went out of that line. That's all right. I wonder if I can erase that. That's not a very good eraser. Here's one. Let me see. That's good enough. All right, so that's that. So I am going to bring in my good water pencil. Make sure, not water pencil, but my blending thing. It's got some kind of liquid in here. I'm not exactly sure what kind of liquid it has, but I do know that when I use my StazOn, it smears the StazOn ink. So it must have something in it that is more of an alcohol base. So we're just going to run that through and just kind of blend that just like that. So you guys, no worry, I am not going to color all of these. I've already colored them and punched them out. Okay, so we've got that. Now what we're going to do is come in and with the Old Olive, and I am just going to like do a little bit of color like where the veins are, just like so. Just a little bit, you don't need a lot. Or if you want it to be more greeny, you can put more in. And then we're coming back in with our blender, and I'm just kind of going over where I put the Old Olive. That's all I'm doing. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is to color. See how that kind of changed that a little bit, and it's really close to the Just Jade. So I'm cleaning that off. So to clean off your blender pens, all you do is just kind of wipe it back and forth until it comes clean, till it's clear. All right, so I am going to color our birds, and we are going to use some Daffodil Delight. And then all you do is the same thing. You just throw some of this colored pencil down here, and you can put as much or as light as you want. Remember, as light, the less color you put down, the more pastel your image is going to be. So, and you can shade when you're using the blender pen. And I know that there are some very talented people who can watercolor beautifully, and they know how to do a little bit of shading with that. But I haven't really mastered that. It is not my forte at all. Okay, so I'm just going to spread this color around, and I think I'm going to come back in with a little bit more. I want it just a little darker. So you can always add color, but you can't take it away. So just something to keep in mind. You can always add color, but you can't take it away. Unless you're working with your Stampin' blends, and then you can use the color lifter and you can remove some of the color. Okay, so I am just coming in where I think there might be some shading on our bird. So, oh, I didn't need to color both of those. Oh well, it's okay. And then I'm going to come back in with our blender and just kind of carefully, lightly blend that. So see, I want this one a little bit darker, so I'm going to come in with a little more. Just like that. And then I'm just going to soften that up. Just lightly blend it. Just like so. And then I'm going to wipe my thing clean. And there we go. So we're done. So there is our bird. Now we're going to come in with our punch. And this is the rectangular postage punch. We're going to center that in there and just punch that out. So we're all done with that. We're done with our watercolor pencils. So that's that. And then the ones that I've already done are all right here. Just like so. Oh, I know what I needed that one piece for. Let's bring that back in. Okay, so now we're going to just try to arrange these the best that we can. So just kind of different heights and the love. And then we're going to cut this in half. You could leave it just like this where it's 4, but we're casing, so I am going to try to do it the way they did it. So we're going to cut this right in half, and then that is going to go right here. Actually, I'm going to put it right like that. Okay, so it's going to go just like that and like that. I'm going to bring this down just a little bit more. Over there. I'm trying to make sure that my edges are all, we can save this for another card, are all pretty even. I wanted to, I'm not sure if they popped that up or not. So I think that we are not going to pop it up because I am going to pop up our sentiment. So that's going to come down here like that. Then this one is going to go up higher. You guys all still with me? Okay, so that's going to go up higher like so. And then this one is going to come, I guess I'll put, no, that one was supposed to go higher than this one. Ah! Oh yay, it wasn't dry. Whew, see? Gives you some wiggle room. This one was supposed to go lower, like there, like that. And then this one was supposed to go lower, but not as low. So just like that, okay? And then this one is going to go right here, like so, right in the center. And then this one, sticky glue, this one is going to go right here, like so, just like that. All right, so it's a little off-centered, isn't it? It's okay. So that's going to go right there. So it's a little bit lower, like so. So that's that. Okay, so I know that looks a little funky, but it's okay, because remember, we have our little lace trim that's going to go across here too. So I'm going to trim that because we don't need it that long. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a little trim, like so. And it's probably still going to be too long, so we'll give it a little more of a trim. And we'll leave that. So that's going to go up there. And then our sentiment is going to cover that little hole right there too. So I wanted for it to say happy birthday, but in the sample in the catalog, it actually says sending my love. I think it says sending all my love. Sending love your way. But I really wanted happy birthday. So we're going to see if happy birthday is going to work. I believe it's going to. So I am going to take this piece right here. I'm going to ink this up in Memento ink, Memento Tuxedo Black. We're going to ink that up. I'm going to try to stamp this as straight as I can stamp it. Hopefully I'm in the camera for you guys. There is a lot of shadowing going on tonight or today. Hopefully I can stamp that straight. It's a little crooked, but it's okay. So then what you would do is you can either take your scissors, like I've done in the past, and cut that out, or you can take your paper trimmer, or if you happen to have the mini paper trimmer because you joined Stampin' Up! When that special was going on, you can also use that as well. Okay, so there we go. Got that, and I'm just going to take my scissors and just kind of trim off the end here, just like so, and just like so. And then that is going to go across here. Actually, you know what they did? I think they stamped on a colored piece of cardstock. So let's go ahead and use this. I'm going to use, just to give it some more pop of color, we're going to use the Bumblebee Yellow. And I'm going to stamp that again in the Tuxedo Black. And we are going to just stamp that right about there, just like so. Whoops, sorry, not too bad. It was pretty straight. Let's try that again and cut it again. All right, you guys, I am so sorry. I have not been keeping up with your comments. Ready for vacation? Yeah, me too. Okay. I think that's gonna work. I cut it a little low. I wonder if I can. I'm just gonna take my scissors. I don't like to take my scissors because I don't cut very straight. So, but that's really just a little too much on the bottom. So hopefully that is not too bad. Okay, so let's get rid of all these extras. And then I think, what did they use? Let's see what they used, because I think they used white underneath. Nope, they didn't. They just had their ribbon. So we'll do our ribbon just like so, and just like so. And this is going to come like right there, but I don't want it to cover my love. All right, so we are going to use a little bit of this adhesive here, and this is where maybe we won't. I'll use glue dots. Okay, so glue dots. We want them to be a little lower, where the card will go so you don't see them. One stuck to my finger. Alright, so let's put one right there. That will be good. Still have one on my finger. Alright, and then that's going to go right here. More centered like so. I want it to come off the side a little bit, just like so. Alright, and then this is going to go right on there. It needs to come up a little higher. Come on, lift for me. Lift for me. Ooh. All right, it's going to go a little higher, like right there. Okay, and then this is going to go right there, like so. And we're going to pop that up using our mini dimensionals here. Got it on my finger. Stick that there, stick that there. And you know what? They also put ribbon, but I already glued that down. So they use some baker's twine around here, but I already glued that down, so we won't. We will just go with that. But what I think I wanted to do, I'm just not sure if I'm going to be able to get it to work or not, is I really wanted to put the postage stamp that says special delivery on there. So that's going to go right like so. Just like that. So isn't this card really, really cute? And like I said, you guys, in the holiday catalog, I can't thank you for the hearts. That makes my heart happy. In the new holiday catalog, there is going to be something in here that coordinates with this punch that you're going to want. Okay, so I really wanted to. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to make that work. I'm gonna need time to do that. So what we'll do is we'll just stamp that in. Let's use one of these colors we have out here. So let's use the Bumblebee Yellow. Let's just stamp that on the inside. I think that is going to be pretty. So, special delivery, right there we go. Alrighty, and then of course you could stamp anything that you wanted to go in there. If you wanted to write a pretty saying, or if you wanted to stamp something different in the inside, you can. I didn't bring over my other sentiments that we could put a really pretty sentiment in there for birthdays. But anyway, so that is my version of the card that is in the catalog, in your annual catalog on page 81 for this bundle, posted for you bundle. So that's that. So this is the other card that we did right here. And this, again, is inspired by a case that is out there for demonstrators from our demonstrator page, business pages. And I just kind of took the idea, and instead of using it for a 3D project, it was an acetate box, and I just converted it and made a card out of it. So that is that. And what did we use for that? We used the lovely U bundle right here to make this card right there. So you guys, thank you so much for joining me. Remember to keep your eyes on Jesus, and don't let yourself get into too much of a slump. Just keep your eyes on him and know that he hears you, and you can cry out to him and he will come. He's there. He's always by our side. Okay, you guys, thanks again for joining me and taking your time out with me today. I really do appreciate it. I hope that you really did like our projects today, and I will see you guys next Friday at 12:30. Doodly-doo.